Have you ever met a woman who feels strangely different from everyone else, not because she tries to be unique, but because her presence carries a calm depth that is impossible to ignore? She may not be the loudest person in the room, yet people remember her. She may not seek attention, yet attention finds her. Conversations with her feel meaningful, almost therapeutic, and even when she is silent, there is a sense that she understands more than she says. This is often the energy of what psychology calls an old soul, someone whose emotional and mental patterns show maturity far beyond their age. And the fascinating part is many women with old souls spend years thinking something is wrong with them. They feel disconnected from trends, uninterested in drama, exhausted by superficial interactions, and drawn toward deeper questions about life, purpose, relationships, and human nature. But what if this difference is not a weakness? What if it is actually a rare psychological strength? In this video, you will discover 5 rare behaviors that women with old souls naturally show, behaviors that reveal emotional intelligence, inner stability, and a level of awareness that most people never reach. And by the end, you may recognize yourself in ways you never expected. Sign number 1: she feels disconnected from superficial environments. One of the earliest experiences of a woman with an old soul is the realization that she does not fully belong in spaces driven by gossip, competition, or shallow validation. While others may enjoy constant social activity, she often feels drained by it. This does not mean she dislikes people. In fact, she usually cares deeply about others, but her mind seeks authenticity, depth, and emotional honesty rather than surface-level interaction. She would rather have one genuine conversation than spend hours in meaningless chatter. This difference becomes especially noticeable during teenage and early adult years, when social identity is often built around approval, trends, and popularity. She may watch others chase attention and wonder why it feels empty to her. She may even try to force herself to enjoy what everyone else enjoys, only to feel more disconnected. The reason is psychological. Her brain processes experiences with higher reflection. She naturally analyzes motivations, intentions, and emotional dynamics instead of simply reacting. This creates a sense of being out of sync with her environment, but it also builds powerful intuition over time. She begins to recognize insincerity quickly. She senses when someone is pretending, when emotions are hidden, when words do not match actions. This awareness can feel isolating, yet it is actually the foundation of wisdom, because she learns to observe before trusting and understand before judging. Sign number 2: she values solitude more than attention. Most people fear being alone because silence forces them to face their thoughts, unresolved emotions, and insecurities. But a woman with an old soul often finds peace in solitude rather than discomfort. She uses time alone to think, reflect, create, or emotionally recharge instead of escaping. This is not loneliness, it is intentional space. Her inner world is active, complex, and meaningful. She may spend hours analyzing past experiences, understanding relationship patterns, or imagining future possibilities. This deep internal processing strengthens self-awareness, which is why she often appears calm even during stressful situations. She does not rely heavily on external validation because her sense of identity develops internally. She knows who she is without needing constant reassurance, and this independence can intimidate others. Because she does not chase approval, she chooses authenticity. She may decline social invitations, not out of arrogance, but because she genuinely enjoys her own company, reading, thinking, learning, or simply sitting with her thoughts. When someone is comfortable alone, it signals strong psychological security. It means their happiness is not entirely dependent on external circumstances. And over time, this habit creates emotional resilience because she learns to regulate her own feelings instead of relying on others to do it for her. However, there is also a hidden challenge. People may misunderstand her solitude as distance, coldness, or disinterest, when in reality she simply needs mental space to maintain balance. She engages deeply, but she also withdraws to recharge, and this rhythm becomes essential to her well-being as life progresses. These 2 behaviors already set her apart from most people, but the next signs reveal something even more powerful: how she handles emotions, relationships, and personal growth in ways that quietly transform her into someone others admire, trust, and feel drawn toward without fully understanding why. Sign number 3: she processes emotions deeply instead of reacting impulsively when something painful happens. Most people respond immediately with anger, defensiveness, or avoidance, but a woman with an old soul often pauses. She withdraws into reflection not because she is weak, but because her mind naturally searches for understanding before reaction. She asks herself, what exactly hurt me? Why did this situation affect me so strongly? What does this reveal about the other person? And what lesson exists here? This inner questioning creates emotional intelligence that grows stronger with every experience. She does not ignore pain. In fact, she often feels emotions more intensely than others. Heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, criticism. All of these can affect her deeply, but instead of letting emotions control her actions, she slowly transforms them into insight. This is why over time she becomes emotionally resilient. People may look at her and think nothing breaks her, but the truth is she has simply learned how to integrate experiences rather than suppress them. She turns wounds into wisdom, and this ability changes the way she approaches relationships. She does not repeat the same toxic patterns for long, because reflection reveals truth. She recognizes red flags earlier. She understands manipulation faster, and she becomes more selective about who she allows into her life. However, this depth also comes with a hidden burden. Because she feels so much, she may situations, replay conversations in her mind, or question her own reactions. She may wonder if she is too sensitive or too intense, but sensitivity is not weakness. It is awareness, and awareness when balanced with reflection becomes strength. Sign number 4. She attracts people seeking guidance without trying. You may notice something unusual about women with old souls. Strangers open up to them, friends confide in them, and even people older than them respect their perspective. This happens naturally, without effort, because her presence feels safe, grounded, and non-judgmental. She listens more than she speaks, and when she speaks, her words carry clarity, because they come from observation, empathy, and lived experience rather than ego. People subconsciously sense emotional stability, and emotional stability creates trust quickly. Someone struggling with pain may feel comfort just sitting near her, because her energy communicates understanding. She does not rush to give advice. She first tries to understand feelings, motivations, and context, and this makes her guidance valuable. Sometimes, she may feel overwhelmed by being everyone's emotional support system. She may wonder why people always come to her with problems, but psychologically, this pattern exists because she radiates reliability. Others sense that she will not react with chaos, judgment, or drama. She responds with perspective and calm, and this creates a reputation of wisdom even at a young age. However, there is also an important lesson she must learn. Boundaries. Being supportive does not mean absorbing everyone's emotional weight. An old soul woman grows strongest when she learns to help others without losing herself, and this realization becomes a turning point in her emotional development. Now, the final sign is the most powerful one, because it influences decisions, relationships, career path, and life direction in ways that completely separate her from the majority of people. And once you understand this last behavior, you will understand why women with old souls often live lives that look different, but feel deeply meaningful. Sign number 5. She chooses meaning over convenience, and this is the behavior that truly separates a woman with an old soul from everyone else. Because most people make decisions based on comfort, security, social approval, or immediate pleasure, but she feels an internal pull toward authenticity, even when it is difficult, even when it requires sacrifice. She cannot stay in environments that feel fake. She cannot maintain relationships that lack emotional depth, and she cannot pursue goals that feel meaningless to her soul. This does not mean her life becomes easier. In fact, it often becomes more complicated, because choosing meaning sometimes requires walking away from situations others would tolerate. She may leave friendships that feel one-sided, careers that feel empty, or relationships that lack respect, even when it hurts, even when uncertainty follows. But over time, these choices create something powerful: alignment between her inner world and external life. Psychologically, this reflects a highly developed sense of self-awareness, something explored deeply by Jung, who believed that individuals reach psychological maturity when they integrate their unconscious feelings with conscious actions, creating a balanced identity. This integration process is exactly what happens inside women with old souls. They constantly reflect on their emotions, motivations, fears, and desires, trying to understand themselves honestly, rather than pretending to be someone else. This honesty creates authenticity, and authenticity creates confidence, not loud confidence, but quiet certainty. She knows who she is and what she values, even if others do not understand. her choices. This is why people often describe her as mysterious, because she does not follow predictable social patterns, she follows internal alignment. And when a person lives this way, they naturally command respect without trying. However, there is also a hidden struggle. Many women with old souls spend years believing something is wrong with them. They feel different from peers, disconnected from social trends, or misunderstood in relationships. They may wonder why they cannot enjoy casual dating, why small talk feels exhausting, or why they need deeper emotional connection than others. The truth is, nothing is wrong. They are simply operating with higher emotional awareness. Their brain prioritizes meaning, empathy, long-term perspective, and authenticity over short-term validation. And once they understand this, everything changes. Self-doubt slowly turns into self-acceptance. They stop forcing themselves to fit into environments that drain them and start choosing spaces that nourish them. They become more selective about relationships, protecting their energy instead of giving it away freely. They trust their intuition more because experience has proven it accurate, and this transformation creates inner peace, because when you stop fighting your nature, you begin to feel whole. And here is the most important realization: being an old soul is not about age or experience alone. It is about awareness of emotions, patterns, consequences, and purpose. It is about learning from life instead of repeating it. It is about depth instead of distraction. And when a woman embraces this identity, her presence becomes powerful. She inspires others without trying, she leads without forcing, and she loves with sincerity that feels rare in a superficial world. So if you recognized yourself in these 5 signs, there is a strong possibility you carry traits of an old soul, and that is not common, it is valuable. The question now is, which sign felt most familiar to you? Which behavior reflects your personality the most? Share your answer in the comments, because your experience might help someone else understand themselves better. And if you want to explore more hidden psychology about personality, attraction, and human behavior, make sure you subscribe, because the next video may reveal something about you that you never noticed before.